guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books. Today I'm here with books that I think are underrated that I really loved of 2018. I definitely stole this from Chelsea Darling Reads. This books did not make it onto my top 11 of 2018. I'm annoyed I put 11, but I had to put 11. And I think that they're really great romances that no one really talks about, that you all need to pick up and read because not a lot of people do. So I will go ahead and talk about the books that not a lot of people talk about that I really loved. The first book is Rewrite the Stars by Charlie Rose. This one came out this year and Charlie Rose is one of my favorite authors ever, and this one is about a girl who kind of runs away with the circus. I don't know if I'd call it the circus, it's more like a traveling carnival, and she meets this group of boys who are part of this like motorcycle show, and she meets them when she's young and she ran away from where her parents were staying. She goes out with them, something happens, and we flash forward a year, and then we flash forward I believe another year, and her life has drastically changed since the first night she met these guys, and so she meets them again now after high school, and she just graduated high school and she wants to not be in this life anymore, and so she decides to go off, run away with the carnival for the summer, and so she hangs out with them. The only problem with the guys though is that they are cursed. They are all related somehow, and their family's been cursed that all the men will die before they turn 25, I think. So they swear off like falling in love. It's a really, really good book. I really loved it. I loved the whole carnival aspect, running away with the circus kind of thing, and the romance was super angsty. You should read it if you haven't had a chance to. Next I have In Bed with the Highlander by Maya Banks. I think I don't hear a lot about this because it's pretty old. I don't know when it was published. 2011, not too old, that's when I graduated high school, but this book is just such a good Highland romance, and our main character is such a strong female character. She is the only living heir to this, like, I don't know if he's a king, I don't remember if he is, but she gets all his fortune, so everyone's trying to kidnap her to marry her and force her into marriage because he has a lot of land too that people want. So she's hiding out in a convent. Someone finds her, kidnaps her, and this little boy is kidnapped with her, and he's like, don't worry, my uncle's gonna save us, and she needs to marry his uncle to protect her from all these other guys that are trying to kidnap her and marry her. It's so good. So it's like a marriage of convenience, kind of, and then obviously like real feelings grow. It's so cute, but she's so strong-headed, which I love. She doesn't let anybody push her around. So good, so cute. If you love a good Highlander romance, you have to read this series. I feel like for this next one, a lot of people have read it, but I haven't talked about it enough on my channel, and that is A Nordic King by Karina Halley. I forgot to include this in my favorite age gap romances because there's a huge age gap in this. It's about a king who, his wife dies at the very beginning of the book, and I'm not going to tell you why or how or what happens, but he is now raising his two young daughters, and they need a nanny, and so this one woman is like mid to late 20s. I feel like she's like 27 maybe. I don't really remember. He's like in his 40s, I think. And she's from Australia, but she's been nannying in like France and in Europe to high class clients, and she is taken to this strange interview process and realizes she's gonna be the new nanny for the king, and so it's their romance. Super slow burn, so good. I loved the king's character so much. Obviously he feels guilty because his wife passed away and he's trying to raise his daughters, and this new woman's coming in who his daughters love. It's so good. If you like a good royalty story and the nanny and the single dad story and the forbidden story, you would love this book. The next book I have to share is One and Only by Jenny Holiday. This is a very adorable wedding romance. If you like romances surrounding weddings, this is for you. This is about a bridesmaid and her best friend's getting married, and she's going all bridezilla and doing crazy things. She's a writer, I believe, and so her friend's always like, well, can't you like help me? You aren't working. And she's like, well, I do have work to do, but okay. And she is put in charge of babysitting the bride's brother, who is a super troublemaker brother, and it's their romance, and it's super cute, and I absolutely loved it. I could be completely wrong about the fact she's a writer, but I'm pretty sure that's part of the storyline. This is just a really cute, fun contemporary romance that really blew up on Instagram, but no one on YouTube ever talks about it, and I would recommend it. The next one I have to share is The Wrong Game by Candy Steiner. Candy Steiner is another one of my absolute favorite authors. This one's a contemporary, and so I'm used to very angsty romances from her, and this was definitely a very fluffy, fun contemporary. It's about a woman who is recently not married anymore, and she has these football tickets that she had gotten for her husband, and she decides that she wants to date someone new and take them to the football game. So every week she's gonna have a different date whenever there's a home game, and when she's hatching out this plan with her best friend, she's at a bar, and the bartender's like, hey, I'll be your first date, maybe it'll be a trial run, but he really, really likes her. And so it's really hilarious. It's so cute. Zach, I think, is the bartender's name. It ends up being their romance, and it's adorable, and I love how broken she's at the beginning, but how just adorable and fun this book was. You should read it. The next one shocked me, and that is Atheist, Who Kneel and Pray by Taryn Fisher. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this book from Taryn Fisher. This is about Yara, who is very much like this flighty, free spirit. She goes from town to town to town. She always dates people, and she always feels like she's their inspiration, and so she never feels like they want her for her. And she's in Seattle, I think, right now, and she falls for a musician. She meets him, and it's their romance, and it's very much a very complicated, broken romance. And I normally don't like artists' romances because they're always so annoying, and I never agree with what they do, and like they never have any responsibilities. I'm thinking of God-Shaped Hole, which I read, which this does a so much better job of what that story tried to do when I read that book. This was just really, really good. I loved the romance. I loved Yara. I loved their relationship and how complicated it was and how realistic it was. I definitely recommend reading this if you want a not perfect romance at all, but something that just like you can't put down. Hey, come here, you ready? You ready? Oh, she doesn't like it when I pick her up. But look at the cute Lily. Coming to say hi? Yes, she's so cute. She's so big. Oh, good girl, good girl. The next book I've talked a lot about recently, and that is Folsom by Taryn Fisher and Willow Astor, another Taryn Fisher book. And this one is a dystopian book, and it's about a society where I'm out of breath from picking her up, I'm sorry. Whew. A society where women are only giving birth to women and men are sterile, so they aren't having babies. And there's this group of, I think, like 8 final men. End men? I don't remember what they're called. But they, literally their job is to procreate. So they need to go around the country, impregnate women, and our main character Folsom falls in love with someone, which is a big no-no, and she's a scientist and she's trying to figure out a solution to this huge problem that America is facing, that the world is facing. It really reminds me of a gender-bent Handmaid's Tale. I loved it. I can't wait to read the second book. The next book I have is Stay With Me by Mila Gray. This is the second book. Come Back to Me? Yeah, Come Back to Me was amazing. I read that last year, as in like 2017 and 2018 I read Stay With Me. This one, they're all military romances, and so this one's about a girl who is interning at a military hospital because I think both of her parents work there and they're like psychologists, and she's training to be a psychologist as well. So she talks to them and they're trying to get over PTSD. A lot of them are getting over like being wounded, and she's instantly drawn to this one soldier who is super broken. He's very... I feel like a common storyline is they feel survivor's guilt, like they feel like it was their fault something happened and they feel guilty that they're the ones who survived. And so the guy that she starts having feelings for really feels that way, and he's actually blind right now. And it's such an interesting emotional romance. I absolutely loved it. I will say I forget what happened, but there was something that did not make it a 5-star read for me. I gave it a 4. But I was just like obsessed with this in the beginning and I couldn't put it down. And if you like a good military romance, pick this series up. The last book I have, I cannot put a finger on why I love it so much, but I just love this book so much, and that's One Small Thing by Erin Watt. This is like kind of YA, but kind of not. This girl's sister was killed, and the person who went to jail is back from what had happened, and she kind of starts falling for him. It's like such a taboo romance, and he's dealing with the repercussions of what had happened. She's dealing with kind of trying to not like him, but she's also rebelling from her parents because they are super protective now. They don't want her to even go away to college. They want to trap her, and she's kind of in a rebellious stage. I absolutely love this. It's a kind of a forbidden, really emotional romance, and I don't know why. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. And those are some underrated books that I think not enough people talk about that I read in 2018, but that did not make my top of 2018. So you should check these out and let me know down below any books you think people need to read more of. I would love to hear it. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.